Hello and welcome. Today, we're taking on a huge topic, trust. But we're not going to talk about it like it's some fuzzy, abstract idea. Nope. We're going to make it concrete. We're going to build an actual, actionable playbook that any leader can use to make a real difference. So, let's jump right in.
Think about it. We usually treat trust like this mysterious gut feeling, right? You either have it or you don't. But what if that's totally wrong? What if we could actually break trust down, almost like a formula? What if it was a solvable problem with clear steps and predictable results? Well, that's exactly the idea we're going to unpack today.
Okay, so here's the core framework. To really get a handle on trust, you need two things. On one hand, you've got the scoreboard. This tells you what trust actually is. It measures it across 8 specific pillars so you can see exactly where you stand. But, just knowing the score isn't enough to win. You also need the playbook. These are the specific moves, the behaviors you can use to earn trust. The scoreboard is the what, the playbook is the how.
So let's start with that scoreboard. It makes sense, right? Before we can start running plays, we have to understand the game. We need to know what a high-trust environment really looks and feels like. And that brings us to the 8 pillars.
Here they are, the 8 pillars. And each one is something you can actually see and do. So you've got clarity, because people trust what they understand. Compassion. People have to know you genuinely care. Character. That's about doing the right thing, especially when it's hard. Competency. Proving you know what you're doing. Then you have commitment, showing you'll stick around through the tough stuff. Connection. Because at the end of the day, people trust their friends. Contribution. You got to deliver results. And the one that holds it all together, consistency. It's all about the little things done over and over again. This is what we're aiming for.
All right, so we know what the scoreboard looks like. Now, let's open up the playbook. This is the fun part, the how. These are 5 super practical, repeatable behaviors that you, as a leader, can use in pretty much any conversation to intentionally build up those pillars we just looked at.
And here it is. We call it the 5E leadership model. Engage, empathy, equip, empower, and encourage. Just think of it like a simple sequence, a set of plays you can run in any interaction to really move the needle on trust. Let's break down each play one by one.
So, play number 1 is engage. And this one is all about how you enter a conversation. This single move is huge for building connection and compassion. It's all about making someone feel seen, feel safe, and feel like they're worth your full attention before you even get into the weeds of the topic.
So how do you actually do it? Well, it's all in these tiny little habits, like putting your phone down and actually making eye contact. It sounds so simple, but it screams you matter. Or starting a meeting with a quick 30-second statement about the purpose. Bam, instant clarity. And instead of jumping to conclusions, just asking, hey, walk me through what happened from your side. See? It's these small, consistent things that build that foundation.
This line just nails it. Imagine saying this. It completely changes the dynamic of a conversation. You're putting psychological safety first, and that sends a crystal clear message: our relationship is the priority. That one sentence is a massive deposit in the trust bank.
Okay, next up in the playbook, empathy. This is how you communicate, I get it, without ever lowering your standards. It's a massive boost for compassion and connection, for sure, but it also shows your character, because it takes real discipline to listen first, especially when things are tense.
And listen, empathy isn't some passive feeling. It's an active skill. It looks like pausing for just 3 seconds before you reply, giving yourself a beat to actually process what was said. It sounds like saying, help me understand, instead of a more accusatory, why did you? And it feels like you're really being heard when someone says, it sounds like you feel really frustrated about this.
I mean, what a powerful way to reframe a tough conversation. Your goal isn't to prove you're right. It's to strengthen the relationship while you solve the problem. Empathy is the tool that lets you do both. You can be totally clear about the standard while also being kind to the person.
Our third play is equip. This is where great leaders become great teachers. It's all about building competence and confidence through great feedback and training. And this one is huge because it directly hits those pillars of competency and clarity, which are just the absolute bedrock of high performance.
Equipping your people is all about turning that fuzzy ambiguity into clear, concrete action. So instead of saying, do a better job, you define what good actually looks like in terms someone can see and measure. You use simple after-action reviews to talk about what went well and what to adjust. You teach things in small, bite-sized chunks and then let people practice right away. This is how you build real skill.
This script right here is gold. It's basically a promise of clarity and support. You're telling your team member exactly what's going to happen, which takes away all the fear and anxiety and replaces it with the confidence they need to actually get better. Competence builds trust, and this is how you build competence.
All right, play number 4 is empower. And this is all about giving people real ownership. When you do this right, you're not just delegating a task, you're showing your commitment to their growth, and you're proving your own character by being willing to share control. It's one of the highest forms of trust you can show.
Now, empowerment isn't just throwing a task at someone and walking away. It's way more strategic. It means setting super clear boundaries. Here's the outcome we need, here's the deadline, and then stepping back. A fantastic little micro-habit here, just ask, what do you recommend, before you jump in with your own answer. That one question signals you trust their judgment.
And this is such an important distinction, isn't it? Empowerment is not abandonment. It's supported ownership. The real message here is, I believe in you and I've got your back. That builds incredible loyalty because you're not just getting work done, you're actively investing in someone's potential.
And that brings us to our fifth and final play, encourage. This is how we build belief. This is how we build resilience. It directly fuels the pillar of consistency by reinforcing all the right behaviors. And it builds compassion by showing that you notice and appreciate people's effort and progress. You know, strategic encouragement is not about empty praise. It's super specific. It's about catching someone doing something right and naming exactly what it was. It's about reinforcing the hard work, the process that leads to good results, not just cheering at the finish line. And how about this for a powerful habit? Following up a day or two after some tough feedback, just to check in. That shows you care about the person, not just the problem.
Let that one sink in for a second. Encouragement isn't some soft skill or a nice-to-have. It is a powerful, strategic tool for shaping behavior and building the culture you want. When people feel seen and valued, they rise to the belief you have in them. It's that simple. So, okay, we've got the scoreboard with the 8 pillars. We've got the 5E playbook. That's the whole framework. But of course, the million-dollar question is, where do you actually start? How do you put this into practice tomorrow?
Let's make this really, really simple. Don't try to do it all at once. Here's the challenge. This week, just pick one E from the playbook. Just one. Then pick one pillar you want to focus on strengthening. And then just have one intentional conversation using that play. That's it. That is how real, lasting change actually begins.
And really, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Trust doesn't just happen by accident. It's built, moment by moment, through thousands of small intentional interactions. The 8 pillars show you the target. And the 5 E's? That's your playbook for hitting that target again and again on purpose.